In first cut. Golly. Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your day 2 recap for this week's Valero Texas Open. Join me to break it all down. Patrick McDonald is here. Patrick, good to see you.
Good day to you, Mr. Rick, and day 2, very professional of you. As we all know, still a lot of golf to be played in the second round out there in San Antonio.
Still a lot of golf. We were 4 hours behind on Thursday. We were obviously not going to make up all of that on Friday, where we currently stand as the broadcast goes off the air. That PM wave from Thursday, so that Thursday PM, Friday AM wave, they're done. They're done. It's just basically the other half of the field that still has to go. Some guys through 10 holes, some guys through 4, but I don't think there's a single golfer, Patrick, in that second wave that's done or within a couple of holes.
No, they're going to have to play probably 5 to 6 maybe tomorrow morning. I get confused with all the time zones. Personally, never been a strong point of mine. But I'd assume most of them 5 to 6, and then the cut, I think, is kind of settling around even or 1 under.
Yes, it is. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. What we're going to do, because they're still playing. So the coverage went off the air, but they're still playing. They're going to play until the sun goes down. So what we'll do here is we have one piece of news. We'll hit that first, and we'll let this leaderboard mature as much as possible. We'll circle back on it. Does that sound like a good plan?
Beautiful, beautiful.
All right. The news out of Friday is that Aaron Wise has withdrawn from the Masters. He posted on Twitter. The statement is as follows. I'll just read it verbatim here. It says, and I quote, "Regretfully, I'm withdrawing from the Masters today. Golf is just as much a mental game as it is a physical skill, and that mental piece of it has been a struggle for me recently. I don't take the significance of playing at Augusta lightly, but I know that I need to take some time away to focus on my mental health so I can get back out to competing at a level I am proud of." So that is straight from Aaron Wise, Patrick. Obviously, as you can imagine, his recent form has not been good for the last couple of weeks or last couple of months. And now he has decided to take some time off and see if he can get himself right, get himself a little bit of reset. And he does it at the expense of the Masters.
It's really a bummer. This is a guy who finished 13th in the FedEx Cup last year, made all his way to the Tour Championship. I think he played by himself that final day, shot 65 at East Lake, and many projected him to potentially be a replacement for Will Zalatoris on that President's Cup team. He was playing great throughout the playoffs, obviously did not get the selection, and this felt like a year for Aaron Wise to kind of make that next leap, like maybe win again. Because he was the Rookie of the Year, I think, in 17 potentially. He got qualified for the Masters through 2 ways. He was inside the top 50 by the end of the calendar year and inside the top 50 last week as well. And it's just a bummer. It's not the first time we've seen a young guy take a leave of absence for mental health. Obviously, Matthew Wolff did the same thing, coincidentally, after the Masters when he signed for the incorrect scorecard, was disqualified after the second round, took 3 months off, came back, actually contended at that U.S. Open at Torrey Pines when Jon Rahm won. So hopefully Wise can do something similar. Get right, take time off as much as he needs. He's in good standing with the PGA Tour, obviously, and come back even stronger.
Yeah, that's right. 45th in the OWGR rankings right now. This is, you can look at this 2 kind of ways. Obviously, we're rooting for him. We want him to get everything all situated. But I do think that we are seeing, as you mentioned, a couple, more young athletes saying, hey, the mental side of things just as important as the physical. There is a closer in Major League Baseball, and I apologize, I cannot remember his name, who is going to start the season on the injured list. And he was very straightforward and said, hey, it's anxiety. And I cannot, I do not want to run myself out there and, whether it's not be good enough for the team to continue to make this worse for me. I'm going to take some time, try to get right, and then I'll come back.
I think even Keegan Bradley touched on it before the Players with Sirius XM radio. He was talking about some days his anxiety is just through the roof where every single golf shot is such a mental strain where he's just exhausted by the end of the day. He might shoot 5 under, but it comes at a huge expense physically and mentally. So this just seems to be one of those cases for Aaron Wise. He obviously was not having a great year after what was a great 2022. And I mean, first off, hell of an Instagram handle. Original Wise guy, that has to be like top 10 among PGA Tour players. But yeah, it sucks that he's missing Augusta and the Masters, and the field's down to 88 now.
The Major League Baseball player that I was looking for is Daniel Bard. He is a closer for the Rockies. One final thing on this, just for the knuckleheads on Twitter that I saw that are like, well, dude, can't you wait just a week and then take your break? Like, imagine the decision Aaron Wise has to make, understanding that it's like, hey, I'm going to miss the Masters for this. Imagine how bad it is if that's what happens, right? If you're not able to go another week, knucklehead, imagine how he's actually feeling.
Yeah, don't think he's taking the Masters and Augusta National for granted. Like it pains him much more than anyone else to be missing this tournament, obviously. And so it like you said, Rick, it's probably pretty bad if he has to skip it.
All right, Aaron Wise, get right, get back soon, and start playing some good golf. We're looking forward to seeing you out there rocking and rolling. Let's take a look here at the leaderboard. Oh, you know what it is? Good day to be a Stanford Cardinal. Rose Zhang doing her thing at Anwa. Patrick Rodgers 3 shots clear of the rest of the field. It's a good day to be a Cardinal.
Hell of a parallel there. Yeah, I guess so. And Tiger Woods, he's still around. So
he's pretty good. Yeah.
Great day to be a Cardinal.
Patrick Rodgers was prolific at Stanford. I think does he still have like 8 wins? Is that still the record? I mean, it's pretty outrageous what his resume was, yet still looking for that first PGA Tour victory, unless something drastic happens here. Well, he's certainly going to enter the weekend with the lead, because we've got guys that are not even going to get close to finishing their second round here on this Friday night. But I think it's very, very likely that he starts the third round with a lead.
Yeah, I think potentially Mav McNeely might have caught him. But when you think about Stanford Cardinals greats, it's like Rodgers, McNeely, Woods, which is just unbelievable. 15 majors between the 3 of them, just a real crop of studs, and only one of them has panned out on the PGA Tour, obviously. And look, Patrick Rodgers, 234 starts, 0 wins, has 3 runner-up finishes, and this season has been pretty bad. He talked to Damon Hack after the round. He said his second round in Corrales, where he missed the cut, I think he's missed 6 of 8 cuts this year, consistently losing in ball striking categories. He found a little something in his swing, shot 68 the second day there. And it's shown thus far through 36 holes. He's first in tee to green, first in approach. Got off to, we're still on round 1. Okay. Shot 66 in round 1. Round 2.
That actually might be his, that is his round 1 score. Shot 67 in round 2.
Yes, round 2, 67. Had 2 early birdies and then kind of hit neutral there, a couple bogeys, and then just sprinted to the finish line with 5 out of his last 6. So, yeah, I mean, is anyone going to even reach 8 under with Corey Connors? I think the lead might be pretty safe with Rodgers, depending on, I guess, tomorrow morning's conditions.
Yeah, it seems pretty safe. He's absolutely knocking the cover off the ball. It's like ball striking numbers are nuts right now. Here is the collegiate individual men's win record for Stanford. A guy named Tiger Woods, 11 of them. A guy named Patrick Rodgers, 11 of them. And you are right, Mav McNeely tied them, 11. So all 3 with 11. I won't. All right, I'll spoil the party. McNeely had 11 wins in 44 starts. Rodgers had 11 wins in 35. Tiger had 11 wins in 26 starts.
I thought you were going to say like 10.
No, what a sicko. Just never
threw him one on top.
Just never ends with this guy. Okay, so Patrick Rodgers, 11 under par. He's obviously through 2 full rounds. Corey Connors through his 2 full rounds. He went out and shot that 8 under 64. He completed that on Friday morning. It was pretty stellar. It was a flurry of birdies coming in, 14, 15, 17, and 18. He was stuck a bit in neutral, though, for his second round here. Patrick out into over. He got both of those back on his second 9, but it was an even par 72. Also looking for kind of another milestone win. Patrick Rodgers would be his first. Corey Connors would get that validation win, the second one on the PGA Tour.
He's too good of a golfer to only have one win to his name, especially in the ball striking category. I mean, if we're talking about team no putt, he's definitely up there. But in the Florida swing, he tends to kind of find some form with the putter, and that really wasn't the case this year. I think he's without a top 10 finish so far, which is surprising. But he even said after his round, all eyes are on Augusta. Like, winning this week would be great, but it's all about peaking for next week. And he's a guy who's had fantastic form at Augusta National and the Masters, 3 straight top 10 finishes, T10, T8, T6. So history and trends, maybe a T4 next week. And Rick, I have a trivia question for you.
Oh boy. Okay.
The last person to win before their eventual victory at Augusta the week before, they went back to back. Who was that person?
It wasn't necessarily their first win. They just won before their first Masters title?
Correct.
Why do I think it was Rory? No, obviously Rory never won the Masters.
He's
Why
never
do I
won.
think it was? Did Rory win before something else? DJ?
No, that was close though.
I don't know.
Phil Mickelson, 2006. I believe it was called the Bell South back then.
Dude, they used to have some wild names.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go. Paul in the chat got it.
Good job, Paul. I'm usually the one asking the questions. I don't like being put on the spot in the other way. There's a reason. There's a reason that you have the trophy next to your name and I do not.
That's true. That's true. Well, we'll have to get you involved with the trivia next year.
Josh said Rory won the Bridgestone before the PGA. I think that's what I was thinking of.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk some notables. But let me do a couple of things. So in the clubhouse, so Corey Connors done at 8 under. In the clubhouse is 7 under Michael Thompson, 6 under Eric Cole, Chris Kirk, Peter Malnati, and Michael Kim are all in at 5 under. And then there's, obviously a ton of guys out on the golf course right now. So what I'll do is I want to go through some notables with you, Patrick, but first we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners. And we're back. I guess we're not going to break there. I think I'm just going to keep rolling on with an ad from the Final Four. Who wins this thing, Patrick? Who do you got going all the way?
Ooh, I'm from Northern Virginia. So Jim Larinaga, when he took the George Mason Patriots to the Final Four all those many years ago. So I'm rooting for him. But UConn looks stout. I think the winner of that game on the right is your eventual national champion.
Well, Saturday on CBS, the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship road to the Final Four reaches its final destination in Houston. They shouldn't say final destination. That's got a bad connotation.
I hate those movies.
I hate them, and I can never stop thinking about them.
Yeah. It's like, what was that show? Like 1,000 Ways to Die.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm talking about on, what was it, Spike TV?
Yeah, that cannot still exist, right?
It got rebranded to something. I'm pretty sure.
True TV or whatever. I'm sure they're loving us talking about death and despair in the middle of this ad. Coverage of the semifinal games begins at 3 Eastern with At the Final Four and the Final Four show, all leading up to tip-off at 6 when Florida Atlantic faces San Diego State, followed by Miami clashing with, those UConn Huskies. The NCAA Men's Final Four National Semifinals Saturday on CBS. Notables. So let's start with Tyrrell Hatton. The betting favorite closed out his opening round 70 and shot a second round 75. He is done at 1 over par. And barring, I'm not going to I'm not going to call it, but barring some miracle, Tyrrell Hatton's gone. He will not be around for the weekend.
Yeah, and before you put money on him for next week and think, oh, maybe it's a bounce back, remember, Tyrrell Hatton hates Augusta National. For some reason, one or the other, he does. So I think, maybe the hand injury was more serious than he let on. He said he just took some Advil and a leave, and that was that. But he was playing some great golf before Austin with the 29 on the back nine at the TPC Sawgrass for the Players Championship to finish second, and then the contention run at the Arnold Palmer Invitational as well. So I was honestly like surprised he was even in this field. And I think most of these guys, like Connors, it's more like, all right, just get me to Augusta. It's so interesting to me how some people like to play the week before and some don't. Personally, I'll never play in a major championship, barring my
Don't say
qualification into the U.S. Open this summer. I think I'd want to take a week off. What about you, Rick? Before?
Well, how would you spend your week off?
Like getting like the house organized at Augusta, making sure everything's good, maybe a couple rounds here and there, but nothing too crazy.
I would play my way in.
Okay, interesting. So you're like Koepka. He always loves to do that.
Yeah, me and Brooks Koepka, exactly the same human being. Yes, I would play my way in because, listen, the getting the house set up, I got people for that, right? I got somebody who's taking care of that. I'm going to roll in on Monday. Everything's going to be in order. I'm not going to have to worry about anything. I've got a team in place here, Patrick.
True. You are a 4-time major winner.
Right.
I did forget about that part. I don't know. I just would like to be there, make sure nothing goes wrong. Like, what if you went on Sunday, you have a really late Sunday, you have to do the press and everything, and then you got to fly in late and you might get behind the 8-ball with your practice and everything. I just, I don't want to have to deal with that.
I would definitely eject if I'm like one off the lead with 4 to go, or one off the cut with 4, I'm like totally ejecting myself. Like,
okay.
There's just no chance there's no chance I'm playing 2 additional rounds out of contention.
Yeah. So the miscut could be better than a made cut almost.
I think so. Rickie Fowler shot a 71. What? We don't even need the drop. I'm here.
Rickie Fowler
shot 71-72. It wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but it's going to get the job done. 1 under par, T44 at the moment. It's going to be plenty good enough to get into the weekend, though it was a little bit rocky at first. That second round, he was 3 over through his first 7 holes. He was able to claw it back with 4 birdies after that. So Rickie Fowler will be around for the weekend.
Yeah, 10 strokes back. Obviously needs the win to get into the Masters. Probably not going to happen, but we do have a shaky leader, so maybe only 8 strokes or 7 strokes back of Connors. So maybe there's a way in. Highly unlikely, but it's really been the putter for Rickie, which is really disappointing. I think he's inside the top 10 tee to green and outside the top 120 putting. And he came into the week 10th in approach, 10th in putting among all people. Total strokes gained was higher than Spieth, Thomas, Burns, the whole lot. So it's disappointing. I think he needed a T4 to climb inside the top 50 of the WGR. I know it's a week later, but it matters for other major championships. So yeah, probably. I thought he was talking about me for a second.
So did I. For those who are not watching on YouTube, you should be. And we threw up a comment here from Joseph, and it says Patrick in there. And our Patrick thought it was about him, but it was really about Patrick Rodgers, and it froze him. It was deer in the headlights look.
Yeah, if you know anything about Patrick's and my betting acumen and Rodgers' winning acumen, you should probably think the real lead is at 8 under. We'll just say that much. But yeah, for Rickie, it just looks like not making a lot of putts. His irons were great today. I didn't watch a whole lot of his first round, but watched a good amount of his second round, and the irons look sharp. And then some off the tee troubles late.
Did you see Siwoo Kim today?
So I was talking to Josh before this, and I have him for the one and done, me and Kyle M. And it was like probably around like 1:30. I was getting my afternoon coffee, left the house, see him in the middle of the fairway on a par 5. I'm like, cool. He's like 4 back at this point or something. He might get within 3. This is going to be fantastic. I'm in the drive-through line for Starbucks, and I'm like, all right, this is taking a little long. I checked the app. Siwoo Kim 2 over for the tournament. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what he hit 2 OB or something.
Yeah, so I had a similar experience because I used him in some larger one and dones as well. So he's okay, yeah, middle of the fairway on number 14, which is a par five. Hits one OB, then he's got to hit another one from basically the same spot, right? Hits that one out
Mhm.
as well, then dumps it in the bunker. Then no, wait a minute.
There's so many
6, 7.
provisionals. I got lost in the provisionals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he hits a provisional. I guess they found it. His sixth was over the green. His seventh was back in the bunk. What happened?
That's what like from the middle of the fairway. I cannot tell you what happened.
See, they also have him down for a 10, but I guess that counts a provisional because he had a 9. He made a quad 9. I don't know what
Provisional.
happened.
Yeah, like how did he go from 2 to 5? How'd that leap happen with the provisional?
I don't know.
So yeah, so he must have his second he must have not been able to find or something. But then he would have hit his provisional. I don't know.
I
I
don't
have
know
no
either.
idea.
So, long story short, he takes a 9. So it's a quad on a par 5, which is super annoying because he ended super. I'm like heavily invested in Siwoo Kim this week. So
Mhm.
he on 18. This is so annoying. On 18, his final hole of the day in round 1, he's on the green in 2 putting for eagle, 3 jacks for par.
Yep.
Then he starts his, round 2 early in round 2 by making a quad out of the middle of the fairway on a par 5. That's like a 5. That's like a 6-shot swing.
Yeah, he's probably right next to Connors or something.
Like not even an
Third betting favorite.
exaggeration. That is like a shit. Like if you are on in 2, okay, he was 80 feet away or whatever, but that's like he's gonna make birdie a lot, and then from the middle of the fairway on a par 5, you're gonna make birdie a lot. That is like very easily a 6-shot swing.
Yeah. And dude, I'm with you. I got him outright at 22. I got him one and done in every league I'm in. And I mean, thank God he made the cut at least, but
Yeah, he's 1 under for the
yeah.
tournament, 74 on round number 2. Other notables, let's see. I mean, Chris Kirk in the mix. We talked about that. Matt Kuchar. Where'd Cooch go?
What, like
Oh boy,
three-ish?
is Cooch going in the wrong direction? Oh, he's 1 over.
Total?
No, just
Uh,
today. 3 under. I thought there was. Oh, where's Hideki? Let's find Hideki real quick. Okay, so Hideki's in 70, 72. That's 2 under. He's T28 right now. He'll be around for the weekend. I mean, I guess there's a pretty big log. If we think like 8 under is probably the real lead, which it might be, pretty big log jam of how this could look even by the time, even like 14 hours from now, when these guys finish their second round, like this leaderboard's going to look entirely different.
Yeah, and Hideki really hasn't done a whole lot to be, half a dozen back. His iron play doesn't look that sharp. He's been miserable on and around the greens. He's typically a really good chipper of the golf ball. Today he was outside the top 90 and putting outside the top 100 around the green. Drove the ball great. He's someone who could conceivably find his iron play like he did the final day at the Players Championship and kind of backdoor top 5. He did something similar at the U.S. Open at the Country Club last summer, where he kind of just came out of the blue and there's Hideki, top 5. So he's got the firepower to be there. If he's within 4 going into the last day, he's definitely live. But man, I don't really know. He continues to be just the most difficult man to figure out on the PGA Tour.
Impossible.
I wrote this week like anything from a WD to a win is possible for Hideki Matsuyama. So I really don't know. Yeah, I think the same holds true still 36 holes later. Anything from a win to a WD is possible.
Someone last night was very upset that we didn't talk about the odds despite half the field not even being done. So that's a pretty silly thing to do. What I will say is just go run and grab Thomas Dietrich right now at 22 to 1. He's putting for birdie on 13. He has 2 par 5s ahead. He's already at 4 under. Let's say he gets to 6 under by the time this round is over, or even 5 under. That is very live for old Thomas Dietrich. That's the one I'll give you there.
Ooh, what about my boy Nicky Taylor? How's he looking? I haven't checked.
11-1. Get a lot of respect.
Yeah, man, come on, those Canadians. It's going to be a Canadian duel.
Oh boy,
Mountie v. Mountie.
Taylor versus Connors.
Yeah.
You know what's going to be? I have Nick Taylor as my best bet, top Canadian. He's going to finish second to Corey Connors, and I'm going to be so annoyed.
I'll cash the top 20 though.
Brutal. There's the betting odds. So that guy who commented last night that we didn't show the odds, here they are on YouTube.
So Rick, I don't know if this is true, but this is just the Honda Classic all over again. No, you see Eric Cole, Michael Thompson won the Honda Classic. Chris Kirk just won the Honda Classic. Patty Harrington's won the Honda Classic twice. Tell me this isn't just the Honda Classic again.
The Honda Classic disguised as the Valero Texas Open.
Yeah, you just moved it from Florida to Texas.
I'm on board with this.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Like, look at this leaderboard. Didn't Benny On play well at the Honda Classic this year?
Hasn't Matt Kuchar played well at the Honda Classic, or am I?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
that's pretty strong. All right, Patrick, it's been an absolute pleasure. The First Cut podcast will be back after the conclusion of day 3. Who knows where we'll be at that point? And then, of course, day 4. Oh, by the way, the Masters is next week. Oh, by the way, can I announce this breaking news? I'll announce it. And if I can't, crop this out later. Next week's round by round recaps, Patrick, will be live streamed on CBS Sports HQ. Also, I believe on the big CBS Sports YouTube channel, they are giving the old First Cut pod a little bit of shine next week.
Yeah, be sure to subscribe there, get your notifications, all that. And yeah, I mean, we convinced the big wigs up there in New York to give the boys the spotlight for a week, and they won't regret it. I mean, there might be some takes. There might be some takes.
They might,
but that's for the general audience, the public world to decide.
Yeah, we'll still be here as well. So I think there'll be 3 different places you can find us all live at the same time. They are letting me host it on CBS Sports HQ. That is a horrible idea.
They got to get you in the studio.
They just gave us they just left us $20 for pizza and said, don't burn the house down.
Rick, I think you got to show up in a tuxedo full Step Brothers. They'll be like, why the hell did we let this guy do this?
They're just going to put up a technical difficulties sign.
We lost Rick's camera. He's only going audio.
All right. Big thanks, producer Josh, does all the hard work behind the scenes. Patrick McDonald, available on Twitter at Amateur Status. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.